Hi. Tonight, I truly believe the greatest asset or real estate we have in our life is what we focus on, and it's our attention. I think many of us would believe and do believe that whatever goes in our attention span can become part of our becoming and our belief, and it impacts our world. And that's why we're really conscious, as much as we can be, to who do we hang out with and what do we surround ourselves with? What do we choose to read? What do we choose to watch on TV? What kind of conversations do we choose to keep ourselves in the midst of? And even that internal conversation whenever we're talking to ourselves, right? Great to see you. You got a bit of a shadow tonight. Yeah, like the werewolf. Wolf. Oh. And so I really respect your time and most of all your attention. I really respect that and honor it. Tonight, for those that are watching a recording, I'm Tina Marie St.Cyr. Been studying humans for a long time, and I love humans. And I love that we have the ability to shift our lives and want to be more for ourselves and others. And so tonight, what I create the container of is understanding our primary sabotaging pattern. Because I truly believe if we know our sabotaging patterns and we look at it from different angles, then we can shift it. And what I want to gift us with tonight are some strategies on how to stop doing those things, but we're going to first find out why we're doing it. Because I don't believe we're unconsciously making sabotaging behaviors. We're actually consciously doing that. And I want to give us the respect and the honor of, well, why would anybody self-sabotage? So it's of love and of need. And once we understand why it's there, then we can shift it, right? So I like coming from receptivity as opposed to resistance or reactivity. And today I got acupuncture, and I was talking to my acupuncturist, and there's two different houses or forms of schools of acupuncture. One is, she said, the Chinese form of acupuncture is make you hurt. And so if you've got something that is out of order, we're going to go in and find the pain and like instill the pain because the pain is making freedom. So it's one school of thought, right? And the other school of thought is the Japanese for acupuncture, and that is come in and do the subtle. So the subtle use of the needle. If it's hurting, it's too much, and so pull about subtleties, and the subtle energies want the most change as opposed to the energies, which and I believe that you're gonna have to come off that one. That one's hurting a little bit. So whenever we go into ourselves with curiosity and gentleness, not ridicule or blame or trying to find out, well, why did I do that? You know, we beat ourselves up. If we come in with a subtlety, we can shift it easier. But it's the same thing. Like if you're working with a child is going to get defensive if we yell at it. But if you go in with curiosity to that child, hello, then it's going to listen and it's more receptive and it wants to learn and grow. Hi, nice to see you. Did you cut your hair?
Very.
Oh my goodness, Daniela. I love the color.
Wow, and colors though.
There's a whole new woman in the room. I told her whenever you sign up for Abolish, it starts, you know. Wow. I'm sorry about the little sexy. Good job. Good job. Yeah. And so I've shared a handout inside of the Zoom of the sabotaging behaviors. We're going to use that as a guide tonight. And as a reminder, I did a series of 12 talks between January and tonight. Tonight's the end of this particular series on mastering your mindset. We'll launch another one in May, and that one will be the run-up for the next Abolish that's happening in October. For those that are taking Abolish, you'll get the chance to play on team. Do you want to get the team shirts? You go grab both of those team shirts and just like, we're going to entice them. So when you play on team, you get to see the training from the backside. And the team, we've got some team members in the room here and on Zoom. They've been in a leadership training. And so they get a leadership certificate. But here's one of the shirts. Carrie, you get to see this, lady.
Who's that tiny?
Who's that tiny? Well, Carolina's this tiny. And then here's the back of this one. Isn't that fun?
That's great.
So and then there's dude shirts. So you don't have to wear this one, Kenneth. Like we have dude shirts. They're black, they're duty shirts. They're not like, you know. But then the other one is this one's a baseball shirt, right?
Those are so cool.
I know. I should have another job of designing shirts. But why I share that is because you got a team around you. You get to come back, and it's a whole different training when you're not booty in the seat. You get to see the whole production, and then it's just awesome. So anyway, you get to come back in October to do that. So this particular series of Mastering Your Mindset, this is the last night of that. Tomorrow we draw for the $100 gift card. So that those that were in the seats here, you get 2 tickets because you showed up, and those that are on Zoom, you get 1 ticket, and the drawing will happen tomorrow. So drum roll, you'll see that on Facebook. It's awesome. Carolina's got the most tickets. She's been at every event, and she's like, I think she's just here. I want $100 gift card. I won it. Her friend Tatiana won the tickets to Angela Johnson. Yeah, so we gave away comedian concert tickets to Angela Johnson. It happened 2 weeks ago, so that was fun. We'll do something cool for the next round of Abolish. It'll be fun. So this is a preview to Abolish. Sabotaging behaviors. Let's start there because they're on purpose. Who's ever gotten to the place in your life where you just wonder, why in the world do I do that? Why in the world do I keep doing that? Let's ask questions. Who could fill in that sentence? Like, why in the world do I keep doing this? What are you doing that is the this? This is an interaction. It's not just a lecture, it's an interaction. We all grow together, right?
Number 1, procrastination.
Procrastination. Why is it that I do this? Doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah.
So just the scrolling, right?
I do like to laugh though.
I love to laugh.
And I think humans are so creative and so funny.
Yeah.
And I just honor them. And I spend
Way too much time there. Yeah. I give myself I have a timer and I do go over the time. I'm like, oh, shut up. It's like a snooze button, like, okay, I was only going to be on here for 20 minutes. Oh, but this is so funny. More of this. Yeah. Mine has been dash cams, watching dash cam stuff and just seeing what people do. I'm like, you are easy. What else do we do that we just ask ourselves, why do I keep doing this? Or maybe you know somebody else that does something and you think, why do I keep doing that? You can participate. We can hear you. Just unmute. Oh, you're typing in? Habits. What type? Overthinking. Yeah. Overthinking. Would overthinking also, well, it's different. I was going to say second guessing, but that's a different form of it, right? So overthinking. Shannon said overthinking. Shannon is joining us and she's in glorious San Diego. Beautiful. We have San Diego weather happening right now in Houston. Yes.
Let's say fear of failure.
Fear of failure. So what does that have us do whenever we fear failing?
Not try.
Not try? Give up?
Even
Or not even trying.
Not even try?
set up for failure. Do it wrong or do it without good intentions. Like start off on the wrong foot.
So not set yourself up for success.
Yeah.
Right. So would that be conscious or unconscious, do you think? Do we consciously go in? I'm just going to not set myself up for success.
I would say energetically.
What do you mean by energetically? Can they see you? Yeah, they can see you through here.
They're seeing them.
They're seeing them?
Yeah.
There's this crazy woman talking over here, and this is the person talking.
Me. Hi.
Okay. So
Yeah.
energetically, how?
I think not aligned. I would say energetically not aligned to the best outcome versus aligned to what's the worst that can happen. And
Is it okay if I keep asking some questions here? How do you know that you're energetically not aligned?
not
Just curious.
I
I'm
mean,
curious.
if you don't have peace or you're doing something angry or you're or you're cleaning angrily.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or just have angst, internal angst, like what the body
Angst.
signals are.
Mhm. And so are you ignoring the body signals?
Yes.
So a sabotaging behavior, a big one, that when we really dig down deep in all of this, we had knowing. And then we ignore the knowing and we go off on this tangent and ignore it. So can I put ignore the knowing?
I think something similar to what you were getting at with her. For me,
Uh-huh.
I get into analysis paralysis.
Right.
But
That's what I'm thinking.
my heart feels like excited, so it's pumping, but it then kind of turns into fear. So, well, close me back.
There's two ways to ride a roller coaster. Holding your breath and holding everything else, right? Or, you know, but it's the difference there is breath. It's actually posture. Whenever we are closed, we're resistant, our posture's in. Whenever we are, what the hell, we're just out here, we have breath in the system and our posture's open. So whenever you're thinking about this analysis paralysis, or hey, I get excited about it and then I shut down, you feel the open, closed, open, closed. Yeah, interesting. So what would we put here on these sabotaging behaviors? What do we do? What would you like us to add to the list here for that particular description of yourself?
Like from this list?
You said, and no, it's anything.
Oh.
You said analysis paralysis, so here. But there was something else. There's a subtlety in there. You get excited about something and then you say no.
Yeah, well, I was saying I get excited, I can feel my heart beating when I like go approach that person or ask somebody to speak up.
Uh-huh.
But my mind kind of shuts me down, holds me back.
Mm.
So I initiate.
So you listen to the saboteur.
Right.
That pesky saboteur. By the way, in Abolish on Sunday, so if there's any of you thinking, I don't need to do all 3 days. If there's any of you thinking, I'll try it out Friday now, I'll just try it, I'll see. I can tell you on Sunday, that's when the breakthroughs happen. Because we literally alchemize the saboteur. What does that mean? We move anything that is of this sabotaging behavior, sabotaging thinking, this is thinking, into your warrior. It's my true belief that without vision, without mission, without understanding our core values and what creates passion for ourselves, without knowing that, if we don't have a game plan for what lights us on fire, we're just going to have a ho-hum life. The neutrality and poor energy takes the space of it. But once we have an understanding of this is it, and you have strategies to keep yourself in state, and go back to that, you get a choice. You can stay in state where you want to be in alignment with your higher purpose, or you can go back to sleep, right? But once we know how to enliven ourselves and what that passion is, there is no saboteur. It doesn't have room. There's no room anymore. I lived in a almost 7,000 square foot home. And when I moved out of that house, every closet was filled, every room was filled, the attic was filled. Holy moly, was the attic filled. The garage was filled. There's a 3-car garage. The backyard was filled with stuff, right? I was like, oh Lord. And it did take me a long time to move out of the house and choose what I wanted, because I was going in, I halved my living space down to a 3,000 square foot home. I went from that to like 2,800. And what I did for that was I got, what do I truly want? Not just need, because if I need it, I may need it now, but if I need it in the future, I can go get it again. I don't need it now, right? Everything. But in that decluttering and that intentionality, it created space and it created openness. And so when I moved into my new home, everything was chosen. Everything had purpose. Everything had a reverence to me because I chose it, right? At Abolish, you get to choose. What do I want? What I want to keep and what I want to toss away. And sabotaging patterns come in because there's a part of us not really choosing. We're not awake to choose. And so these fill in, like, fill in closets with stuff that we may not need. Or having pests in our house. Like, if I'm not mindful, right now it's spring, the ants will take over. Right? And I'm going, okay, you're not welcome in my yard. Because I know I want beauty in my yard. So I'm going to purposefully have you guys go. But our choice of what do we want to have close to us becomes our destiny. And so we get to declutter. Abolish will be a decluttering the mind and the soul and the habits and the commitments and the decisions. And it can be scary. It can be scary where I go, okay, this is what I'd love. In fact, start asking yourselves questions. What would I love? One question, it's not just questions. What would I love? And it's a simple question, isn't it? But this has spokes to it. It has like in my relationships, what would I love? In my family relationships, in my intimate relationships, in my social relationships, what would I love? In my free time, my me time, maybe you don't have me time, or maybe you'd love some me time. In my health, what would I love? In my mental perspective of life and how I treat my mind. And then in my career, what would I love? Or in my business, what would I love? In my finances, what would I love? And in my spirituality, what would I love? We get to ask. And have in your own areas, right? Because once you have a game plan and you get precise on these things, there's no more room for this. Or you don't put up with it very long because you can taste it. You can taste it, you can feel it, you can hear it. I don't know about you, but I don't put up with myself very much. Like if I get into this, I'm like, oh, stop putting, that's not who you are. I don't put up with it. I have a part of me that could be a big brat. And it can stomp at the ground and go, boom, and then it can suck its thumb and it can say, this is not what I want life to be like. And I'm like, oh, shut up. I say all that to myself. I'm like, you're not this. Stop it. Because my saboteur wants space, but I say, you're the warrior. If you don't want something, change it. If you don't want it that way, take action. You're going to get to see that. Okay. Let me give you a little preview. This is the workbook. It's going to have like 3 new things in it. This is our previous workbook. So 45 pages so far. We're going to have more exercise in here. We're adding the transformation triangle, which is cool. But this will become a guide to you on how to stop listening to your own BS. There's no more excuses because sabotage only happens whenever we listen to our own excuses, right? So the next question. So in this list, I'm going to read your overthinking. There's 2 ways to ride a roller coaster. Yes, Caroline.
Yeah, I was nodding her head.
Oh yeah. Anything on this list that stands out for you guys, I'd like to have just dive into a little bit if we want to really examine one of these patterns. I'm going to use a framework that you're going to become familiar with, and you're going to see how sabotaging patterns play out and why.
I'd say lack of self-care in the sense of eating, diet and exercise.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Cindy. Can I use that as who else may have from time to time a lack of self-care and or consciousness and choice on eating and or hydration and self-care? Okay, we got Kara saying yes. We got Carolina, we got Daniela, dudes. Okay. Gentlemen. So we have a lot of hands. I'll raise my hand too. Certainty, uncertainty. Significance. I'm putting the human needs on the board. They're not in your notes, but I'm going to tell them to you so you can write them down. It's the human needs from above the line, below the line that we've gone over in other sessions. I'll give you these. Kara, could you type the human needs in the chat, please? Thank you. Oh, wait, I did them backwards. Nobody's gonna call me on my own stuff. Tina Marie, it's been a day. It's been a day. I just screwed you guys. People taking notes were like, what's she using it for? I was testing me. Okay, so lack of self-care. That's this box up here on this worksheet, what needs are being met, right? So thank you, Kara. So whenever she's putting them in. So certainty, uncertainty, significance, love, connection, growth, and contribution. Those are the 6 human needs. And I'll have you draw a line between 3 and 4. So let's examine this for anyone, not just anyone. I think 7 people raised their hand. So if there is a lack of self-care, what will we put here as far as the sabotaging behavior?
Overeating, poor choices in food, laziness, maybe. Well, maybe not even laziness, but well, maybe it's laziness. I don't know.
Is it not making health a priority? Not making, and we could put anything in this line, in this case, it's health, a priority. So, some people could say wealth, some people can put relationships, some people, all these stuff, right? Not making something a priority. If somebody doesn't make something a priority, yet they hold it as something that they should make a priority, is that creating receptivity or resistance inside of them? Resistance. So if somebody's creating resistance because it's in thinking first, like last week it goes from thought to language to belief to, these patterns develop out of thinking. It's energy first. So energy, then thought, then action, then belief, right? Or belief and action. So as we have this use of energy and we create resistance out of it, what needs do you think someone like that would get met? If we're having this duality of, I should do this, supposed to do this, but I'm not doing it. And so now I can look back at that and go, well, I'm not paying attention to myself. I'm sabotaging myself. I'm disregarding myself. We can have this dialogue back and forth. It literally is like an internal conversation. Does anybody else hear that internal conversation for themselves when they're doing it? It's like, and if we tune on that conversation, it could be constant, right? It could, but then we hopefully do that to ourselves all day long. But what needs do you think someone who would think this, not making, in this case, health a priority, what needs does it get met to not make health a priority?
Uncertainty.
How is it uncertainty? This is good stuff. I mean, this is going to be in every decision that we make. This is how it works. Our needs get met or don't get met, and then we make choices from that. You're right, it is uncertainty. It's going to sound strange, and I'm not picking on you. This is everyone that does this, right? It creates uncertainty because we don't know what our health situation is, right? And it creates fear because we don't know if our hearts are good or our intestines are good, our liver is good. It creates an uncertainty because we can't see inside our body. Like we have the skin, like, oh, we need to go get our blood tested. We need to go get our things tested and all this kind of stuff. We see evidence of it's possibly not good, but that does create uncertainty, right? What other need does it create? Does it meet? To not pay attention to our health, to not make it a priority, what need does it get met? Who else? You guys can, I'm watching the chat, and so is Carolina. So, yes, Kenneth,
Certainty.
yes. How does it get certainty met?
It's you can by not doing these things, you know that you're not doing these things to control.
Yeah, you still get the outcome. And there's power, kind of strange, but there's power in deciding to not take care of yourself as well. Then I'll let you know that there's more power on the side whenever you push through that sabotage and get to the other side. There's a lot more power on taking care of yourself. But we're talking about this one right now. So it is certainty. We know our outcome. So what's your favorite food that you know I shouldn't eat all this stuff? What's your favorite? Pizza. I love pizza too. What's your favorite food that you go, I shouldn't be eating all this stuff?
A chocolate.
Chocolate, just that's it.
Chocolate.
Anything. Chocolate, yes. I hear you.
Mexican food.
Mexican food, yeah.
Ice cream.
Ice cream, yeah. Totally.
Sherry said, certainty gets met because you don't have to change if you don't know.
Yeah, you can stay ignorant or play ignorant, right? Yeah, so we can retain the bad pattern and we go, yeah, I know. The other certainty is that we know that we're going to feel good. It's kind of strange. We feel good. Every single one of you lit up. Me too. When you said pizza, I'm like, let's go have some, right? We light up, and this is the honesty stuff, because it's not, remember I said about the two different kinds of acupuncture, that there's a Chinese form that wants to hurt you, and if it's not hurting, it's not working. And then there's the Japanese form, that's the subtlety for the change to happen. We must laugh at how we are, because if we ridicule ourselves or create more resistance, it's not going to give us space to move. So there's nobody on this planet that doesn't have some bad habits. I studied with Tony Robbins and his wife, Sage, while they were dating. She wanted to have ice cream. Who said ice cream? You said ice cream, Kara. And so he was this, everything's measured, all the calories, everything's measured, and it's like he's a machine, right? And that's how he did it. And so she tells the story that whenever they're out and she wants ice cream, and she's like, here, have some ice cream. No calories, it tastes like it's calories started. And she goes, oh, lighten up. What did she say? Lighten up, military boy, or something like that. But he said, she was right. I was making everything so scientific and regimented, and I was not happy. So these sabotaging behaviors, we get the chance to look at them from a subtlety, not look at them like, oh crap, why do I keep doing this? Let's be curious and lean into it. We're not going for perfection, because perfection is the lowest standard, right? We're going for change where we want to be 80, 90%, but not so much that we think that our life is some kind of measured military type of plan, right? Let's go for joy. Joy first. And checking into yourself, because we know when, okay, if I'm going to order the Mexican food thing, as I go to Spanish Flour, love the place. But what I'm doing now is I'll order one beef fajita tostada. I won't have the chips. I won't have the rice and beans. You know, I want to have this. And what do I love most? I love fajita beef. Okay, cool. I'm going to have a fajita beef tostada. And I don't usually eat the corn tortilla. I don't like soggy corn tortillas anyway, but I eat the stuff on top, right? And I'm not going overboard, but I'm also not depleting myself. And that day I would have had anywhere from 3 to 4 cups of vegetables, and I've hydrated. So I look at the balance of things, right? I want to be able to go to bed at night with my head on the pillow, knowing that I cared for myself, but didn't care for myself at the point that if I didn't do something absolutely right the next morning, I'd beat myself up. There's a balance. There's a balance. So we're back on this. What other needs are we getting met by not taking care of our health and making it a priority? I want you guys to see this.
I mean, you could say significance. If you're not
Yes.
taking care of yourself, everybody's going to pay attention to you, want to take care of you.
Right. Or we could also make a story up of why we can't. I don't have enough time. Like I don't have the right amount of money. Organics cost so much. And, like all these supplementations, oh my God. And we can make stories up around why taking care of ourselves isn't easy. And it's easy to find significance in the story, right? Thank you, Kara. What other need are we getting met? Yes, Gail.
Connection.
Tell me more about that. It's actually love
Well,
and connection.
Love and connection. Okay, this is where I'm going with this, is the bad habits with loved ones, that if you pull away, or let me rephrase that, if I pull away and choose to eat differently, that severs to a degree the connection. And yes.
Yeah, you stand out, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was a vegan for 12 years in my family. When it came to Thanksgiving time, that was fun because I was the person that would cook the turkey and everything before. So what I do is I'd order it from like Boston Market or something. I remember this version myself. I'd go pick up the turkey. I'd have it in the back seat. And at that time in my life, I didn't. So this is Miss Fajita beef now, right? But back then I didn't want to smell the turkey. I was like, oof, wow. It was hard for me to smell the turkey. So what I do is I bless it. I bless the turkey the whole way home. I bless your life and all your little babies. But I'd serve the turkey, right? But boy, did I get ridiculed for that. They're like, what's wrong with you? Aren't you an American? You're supposed to eat meat. How are you getting your protein? Like all that stuff. So you're right. You can get cast out for decisions, right? Yeah. Or if you're not a meditator, something's wrong with you. You'll live longer if you meditate. I'm sure you guys are seeing the pattern here. We're just going up the chain. How do we grow? This is ironic, but how do we grow? How do we meet the need of growth from not prioritizing health?
Your clothes get bigger.
Best answer in the world ever.
I'm gonna gold star for that one.
Thank you, Brian.
Your waistline grows.
You do. But we also, it's awesome. The pain in our life or the struggle in our life can open doors for us to investigate new opportunities. So we may decide we want to learn about cleansing, or we want to learn about fasting or intermittent fasting or stuff like that, because our health is it's knocking on the door and we know there's some change that could happen. It opens up the door to be curious. Isn't that fun? And I love that. Yes, your waist gets bigger. Humans get to the place where we have pain, and because we want to get out of pain, we grow. We decide we need solution, right? So the pattern of not making anything a priority can lead us to having all of these met. And then you can do this one too. Contribute. You contribute to the restaurant bill, right? But contribution is, I guess different ways we could look at contribution, but I'm sure there's a way to contribute by not making things a priority. The ultimate thing is to know that if we're doing something in a sabotaging way, we're more than likely getting three or more of our needs are being met. And anytime there's 3 or more needs being met, especially below the line, whenever we're getting 3 or needs met below the line, it could become an addiction. So think of alcohol. Certainty, I know how it's going to make me feel, and I know how people are going to react to it. Uncertainty, I don't know what the frick I'm going to do when I finally get toasted, right? Significance, this is my life. You have no control over me, right? And so the danger with the human needs below the line is the more we get them consistently in a pattern met, it can become a habit of an addiction. So we want to move above the line in our energy use and our decision making. So we break bad habits and we break addictions. And so all of these patterns of sabotage, if we're truthful to ourselves, we're getting 3 or more needs met through doing them. So what we want to do, I'll give you an invitation to do it. And it may not be on this particular pattern. It could be on our worksheet. It could be on the back or somewhere else. Is to make a T-chart and go like, here are the needs. Like you would have a T-chart. So if this is the T-chart up here, you can't really see it all that great. You could turn that around and see it. But the T-chart, you would ask yourself, what needs am I getting met through this in a negative way? And what needs am I getting, how am I getting this need met in a positive way? And that's what I'd shift it to. So let's shift them. So if we want to prioritize our health, if we want to make it a priority, it's not just a have to, it's not a should, it's like, this is now a priority. It's different than, and we get to choose our priorities, right? A priority doesn't mean everything's a priority, then nothing is. So priority is saying, okay, the first 1 or 2 things in my day, first 1 or 2 things in my consciousness, first 1 or 2 things I'm investing in, first 1 or 2 things I'm spending time in, I'm going to block time for it. That's a priority, right? If we say my relationship's a priority and my health is a priority and my career is a priority and my me time's a priority and it's all a priority, it's all the same playing field. It's all even, right? When you really want a priority, make it a priority and do it for about 40 days. There's significance in a 40-day pattern, and then see what changes. Because once you do a habit and change it for 40 days, it becomes part of your being. It no longer needs to have a conscious outflow. It becomes more unconscious, right? So here, let's switch this from not making health a priority to making health a priority. If we're making health a priority, what would we do on the certainty column? How would we make health a certainty? So Brian has one. Brian does yoga and meditation on a regular basis. And I don't even think Brian needs to now think about prioritizing health and yoga and your meditation, because it just is a discipline now. And I don't know if Brian can undo his, I have a question for you if you're there, because it wasn't always that way. There's a period of time where you're learning and making a priority, but even now with work or with choice, he fell off, I guess his connection was bad. It's just his habit. He's going to be at yoga on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. That's just how it's going to roll. Right? What in your life has been something that wasn't a normal, but the more you did it, it became a normal. And now it's not even a, you can't, it's non-negotiable now. Drinking water for Carolina. So was it a habit that you had before, or you trained yourself in that?
Train myself.
You trained yourself? And do you remember how you trained yourself?
Actually, in my previous relationship, there was a lot of water drinking, so it was by osmosis.
Oh, someone influenced you?
Yeah.
That's cute. I like that. By osmosis. You were in the circle, you were in community and relationship with someone who had that as a priority, and it rubbed off on you.
I knew intellectually it was important, but I didn't have the habit of actually making a priority. So I bought a cup and fill it. And then through videos, I learned that salt is important. And through the keto diet is important. So salt's very important to keto diet. So salt, that helps. So get the minerals in, get hydrated.
So put a new thing in, which is variety. This is uncertainty is also variety. And so you put variety in, you got inventive, man. You put some salt in, you got your cup. There's probably meaning to that cup. There's meaning.
My colors.
So you put your personality into it, right? what are other ways we can have positive outcomes for something that we had not made a priority? Cindy, I'm curious for yourself. So if you're wanting to switch this sabotaging behavior of not making health a priority, and you see that you get your needs met, which we were talking through on a negative way, that it's easy to get our certainty met or uncertainty met or significance met, or even our love and connection, and even the growth of our hips and waists, right, met. But what are new patterns or new behaviors that you could put on the positive side that would get to start shifting this from not being a priority and a sabotage into something that is fueling you?
I don't know. I think I'd have to overcome my disdain for cooking and cleaning.
You think so?
Something like that. I don't like to cook and I don't like to cook mostly because I don't like to have to clean the kitchen.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's
I enjoy cooking when I'm cooking, but I don't like to clean.
okay. So clean.
I don't like the kitchen.
You don't like the kitchen.
Not my favorite room. I don't know. It never has been.
Huh.
Since childhood.
So if we're working more deeply together, which may I do tonight. What time is it? We have some time.
Okay.
If we were working more deeply together, because the saboteur gets in there, the sabotaging patterns, the sabotaging habits, the sabotaging thinking, it goes down deep. For the ones that really matter, like really the things that are in there that you know have been in there forever, that you battle. Is this one that you battle? Daily.
Mhm.
So you just let us see into some things that since childhood, the kitchen has not been a place you love.
Yeah.
That's big. What does the kitchen represent to someone?
Well, I think the kitchen is probably one of the most important rooms that you should love. I mean, this is where this is the health and wellness and vitality. It seems like it would be the place of everything health. Just it should be a place that you embrace and want to be in because you're taking care of yourself and you're, what? Nurturing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's a center for nurturing.
Right. Yeah. And longevity and, and just energy. And that's where all the good stuff starts.
Or ends.
Can I tell what perspectives I've added on to help me with those things? Because I also hated the kitchen.
1 second. Hold those thoughts, Sherry. Hold those thoughts. Yes, and then hold those thoughts. So, do you remember where this relationship with the kitchen started?
She's wanting to go deep inside.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you have any like relationships with any other bedroom in a dwelling like this?
no.
No. So there's, whenever you think of the bathroom, it's cool.
Yeah.
When you think of a bedroom, it's cool. Living room, cool. Porch, cool. Backyard, cool. Kitchen.
I hate going in there.
I hate going in that room. I hate going in that room. So where did this relationship start?
Gosh, probably growing up, and teenager and, just
How old was Cindy whenever she realized that this started?
I don't know, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, those are formative years for our psyche, right? 7, 8, 9. Do you remember hearing anything that happened?
No, it's just that my mom was always good at, keeping the kitchen clean, but there were go into this.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, like there are always roaches and maggots in the boxes of cereal and stuff like this. And even though my parents always had, you know, pest control,
Mhm.
you know, coming and all of that, and my mom always kept everything clean, it was just there. It was, I always saw it as like, I equated it to like the, I equated it to like, in the Bible when it talked about all the curses,
Yeah, the
the
plagues.
plagues and things like
Yeah,
yeah, I just equated it to like that, and it was disgusting to me, and I never wanted to go in there.
Mhm.
I never wanted to go. Hated it, you know, and yeah, it just stuck with me, and
it has.
I think it's like stuck in my nervous system. You know, it's
I
like
would agree.
it's like
We can feel
yeah.
that. We can feel
Yeah.
that when you share the story. Yeah.
And then as a teenager, you know, before then we never had to do chores. Mom had did everything.
Hmm.
And I remember an experience that happened in the kitchen when was the family therapist said those kids need to start doing chores. And we were resistant. And I just remember I didn't want to unload the dishwasher and it was my turn. And I just said, no, I'm not going to go in there. I'm not going to go into the kitchen. I don't want to do that. And the whole family like attacked me
Oh, wow.
about like
That's a big deal.
surrounding me with this, you know, coming at me, everybody, you know,
Like an
in my
army.
face, like, yeah, exactly. That was a traumatizing experience.
I can, oof, that would
And
be.
so those two things, you know,
Mhm.
just the, yeah, just all that, the curses and the, as I call them,
The plagues.
and the, yeah, the
And
plague and then
being attacked.
being attacked. I just got to where I hated the kitchen.
Yeah.
I just never want to go in there. And I don't consciously think of those
Of
things.
cour's not.
You
None
know,
of
I
this
never
stuff is
do.
conscious.
I
For
never
all
do.
of us,
Yeah.
when we're dealing with these things, do you consciously go in, you know what? I think I'm just going to procrastinate all day long.
No.
I don't think we do.
No.
We bargain. We
Yeah.
bargain with time. I can do that later. I can do that later. I'm doing this and this and this, and we're not focused.
Right.
And procrastination is simply the shuffling of attention and energy. And, you know, if we were to focus on something and just simply get it done, because it's an addiction, the procrastination is an addiction to not accomplishing things. And we bargain and we think that I have this much time, and we just gamble. We gamble with our attention span, right?
Right.
That's another one to get into. I know you to be a godly woman, so we won't go into this in depth tonight. However, I'm going to offer you a potential perspective. Cool? So as the young Cindy witnessed the maggots and the roaches in a clean house, that we want to have the belief that my mother cleans. We want to have the belief that we are a family that has a clean home. Yet, in this particular, what you saw was maggots and roaches, right? Anybody else have experienced maggots and roaches in your life? Raise your hand. Yes. Yeah. I remember going to the garbage can and my dad would want me to put the garbage out, and it's like, oh God, I know, right? So I'm just like, you know, we all have this visceral. I don't think anybody,
Yeah.
you know, we all have this visceral response to that, okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Yeah. So, and then, so if you liken it to a curse or plague, right? That's a deep, deep meaning. I know for you, I mean, somebody that doesn't have a godly background and, you know, church going and believe and understand those meanings of things may not have the same attachment. For you, labeling something at that depth anchors in that vileness. So I can understand and respect that if that's a memory that just anchored, I can see how the kitchen has reposed, right? Just like, whoa, right?
Yeah, I don't even hardly put anything in the trash can. I put everything in a bag and it goes in the refrigerator so that it doesn't spoil in any kind of way until it's time to take it out. And then I take it out, have a spot in the refrigerator where that stuff goes. And then I take it out.
So even to
on
this
the trash
day, you're wanting to prevent that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that's good. You've taken action to try and not have that experience again, but it's also taken a lot of energy.
Yeah, it does.
And it's also taking away from what I'd love to have you just start thinking through, because I'm going to touch on that other one, which was the chores. as there's a, would you be open to having a sacred relationship with the kitchen?
I would love to have a sacred relationship with the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because I know that that's important to me, living a healthy, vibrant, full, long life to be able to accomplish my goals. And right now,
Uh-huh.
it's holding me back.
Yeah. And if you were to accomplish these goals, what would your life be like? What would Cindy be like?
I would be healthy. I would feel good. I wouldn't be living in pain all the time. I would be able to jump up and down when the music is playing. I would,
You'd feel part of something.
I mean, I would be living my dream. And I know that I'm not living my dream. Part of that reason is because of my health.
Fair enough. The second part was this chore thing and the memory of the dishwasher and the family coming in. So one thing that I heard was this meaning with the plagues, which is biblical. The other thing is that sometimes people, whenever they stand boundaries of what they want and don't want, and you were being truthful, I don't want to do this. It wasn't like I don't want to ever do this. Was it? It wasn't in that moment. I am never, ever, ever gonna wash a frickin' dish. I don't ever want to see a dishwasher. That
No,
wasn't your
but-
consciousness. I
no.
mean, you're a teenager.
I wanted to be in control of me.
Yeah, that's it.
Nobody else is going to control me.
So it goes even deeper, right? But we're not gonna go there. So there was something
Yeah.
even deeper opposing. So from a biblical standpoint, because I'm wanting to relate to you in something that means something to you in a big way, is that, Jesus was attacked, right? And sometimes when we stand for what we truly want, what we believe in, there are other people that could oppose that and try to impose their force upon us, right? So I invite you to go back to that Cindy and give her superpowers. So in Abolish, you're going to see some of the people, because we're going to have fun with this. So people at Abolish, they're going to build their warrior, right? So give me some, like, if you're that teenager Cindy, and I am not doing the damn dishes, people. Ain't no way. And they come in to attack you. What superpower do you want to defeat the army? What superpower? Yeah, just what would you want? Have fun with it.
I am okay. You want me to have fun?
Have fun with
I
it.
see myself like, twinkling my nose and the dishes are done.
Oh, there you go.
Bewitched, man. I tried that a lot. I mean, like Bewitched, she would do the and it had a sound effect and everything's done. I'm like, I want that power.
I want that power.
I want
That's a
that
great
power.
Superpower. It's just done. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
have to do it.
But more than that, and there's one superpower, and so the other would be is I have you create a force field where they can't touch you.
Yeah.
I would really have you say, I don't care what they're saying. It's not like we're being
Yeah, because
mean.
that's not reality, right?
It's fun.
It's fun.
Whatever it's being said is not going in me. Anything that is against me and not loving is not going in me. Have a superpower to allow the knowing that whatever's here, I get to know, is it love of love or not? And if it's not of love, it gets repelled. I would have you have this superpower of immediate spiritual discernment. If it's of love, it is of me. If it is not as love, it is out. And your thoughts are that. So even your thoughts now, whenever you have these reactions with the kitchen, is it of love or is it not of love? It's of love, bring it in, bring it closer to Cindy. If it's not of love, that would be the only homework I gave you from tonight. Okay? And the thoughts of it being a plague or the trying to control the plague, and could we control those plagues back then? We couldn't control those plagues. They were of divine nature. Those plagues were of divine nature and they were waking people up. Right? Roaches in our kitchen are Texan. They should come with boots and a hat, right? But allow yourself to say, is it of love or is it not of love? The thoughts that I have about my kitchen. And
I
how,
do know they're not.
Right, they're not. So
Mhm.
how can I fall in love with my kitchen? Fall in love with it. Because right now, your relationship is, you don't really like it.
Right.
And your kitchen's going, well, how can I nourish you if you don't like me?
Exactly.
Right.
I'm very well aware of that.
So homework is, how can I fall in love with my kitchen? And those two things, the meaning, the deep meaning of the plagues, you're doing some great stuff and having a place in your kitchen to take care of that and send it out because that you're taking action, which is great. You're not just hoping and all that. And the other thing is this superpower with whatever happened for that version of Cindy, replay it and give yourself a protective field for your thoughts coming in. Are they loving for me? Or are they not loving for me? That's your only exercise for right now. See how it goes. We get to see each other in a few days at Abolish, right?
Right.
Is that helpful?
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I never think about that unless, somebody's trying to pull it out of me about why I don't like to go in there. Because I never
We've got to
think about
reframe
that.
it.
I never think about
We've
that.
got to reinvent it. We've got to reframe it because it's got meaning right now and it's very deep meaning. And if you want to defend that meaning, your kitchen will always be the enemy.
Right.
But if you're saying, I'm going in, I'm rewriting this damn story, you get to rewrite your story.
Okay.
Is it in your favor and in your highest interest to rewrite the story now in your life?
Definitely.
Rewrite your story. You're in charge of it. Fall in love with your kitchen. Fall in love with your kitchen. If that helped you in some way, write in the chat and how that helped you.
What was
Yes.
Kara
I
gonna
have a
say?
question.
Yes.
Reframing
Oh,
it.
Sherry, we're going to talk to Sherry. Sherry's still there. Yes. Angel.
I was gonna say like, how is it different from, like looking back over, something bad that happened and just imagining what if things turned out how I hoped for, better.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's one version of hope is one thing. Really saying, I'm going to change the meaning I gave that moment. Because we get the choice of giving something a meaning. And whatever meaning we gave it is how we will continue that belief going forward. You can go back and give it a different meaning. How many people have lost someone they love? And it was painful for the time period after you lost them, but then you found graciousness or appreciation in having them in your life and how they are now on the other side. We give it a different meaning.
So I understand that in a sense where, I can see events of suffering and now looking back, if I go back and see how I grew because of this
Perfect.
event.
Yes.
So like how you were saying in her example, where I guess her and her child was a superhero.
Mhm.
It's like there used to be times when I would imagine like, getting bullied and I was a superhero.
Yes.
But at the same time, it didn't really, I don't felt like it was enough, I guess.
That it didn't really change something.
Yeah.
So
I was
moving.
wondering what was I missing?
So in that, thank you for asking that question. So in that case, we would want to attach that to a now moment. So the now is being affected in Cindy's life from something that had meaning in the past. So when we rewrite that story and give it a different meaning, it affects the now. And it gives her openness to now actually fall in love with the sacredness of a kitchen. I mean, a potential for this, and this has to come from you, but it's something that was coming from me, was you writing a book, falling in love with your kitchen and telling the story so that you affect the lives of other people. And the highest need is contribution. When you can contribute to other people breaking through, it gives you a whole new meaning. And your kitchen becomes a container of becoming. And it's like a rebirth of the kitchen because now it has a higher purpose, not just for you, but for others. We move out of the me, which is below the line, into the we, which is above the line. And your story, did her story affect other people in the room?
Yes.
So when you tell your story and your transformation helps others, it anchors in a whole new way and you can't go back. So for you, Angel, whenever you say this bullying that happened and to use the imagination and give him superpowers, If you can anchor that to a now moment where you can help yourself not be bullied in this moment, if it's showing up somewhere in your life now, or others that you may see bullying happening, and you can lend into them a superpower or a way to reframe it and help transform them, it connects those time continuums, and that has new meaning, and you don't go back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So sit with that and see if it plays out. But until we have meaning now for something, it usually doesn't come into our memory.
So when you say, did she write a book, or you imagine that you're writing a book to help others in the future?
I had a download that she's writing a book and she's helping to share her experience with other people. Because her transformation now has like glue to it. It's got a glow, like your MK on your
So
shirt.
it can work, project into the future too.
Mhm.
Okay.
Say that again?
It can help for your future too. Sherry, you were going to share. Sherry and sharing. Sure, Sherry.
Sharing.
So Sherry, health coach. She's an amazing health coach. What would you do with the kitchen, Sherry?
Hi, I just wanted to relate that I also had a similar terrible experience with roaches, and grew up in Texas. Also had kitchen chores as punishment, and especially at a particular camp that I went to, that was the punishment they did, was they had you do kitchen patrol, and people would dump their plates into a big trash can full of water, and you had to reach down there and grab them with all the stuff floating around, and just had this really terrible association with that, and didn't even learn how to cook until I was about 32. Could literally burn water. Seriously. I don't really know why my husband married me, but I'm glad he did. The lens that I have pulled over it, and the framework that I have torn down and rebuilt, is that in the kitchen I get to be creative. In the kitchen I am allowed to be the superhero, because now I make really good food for my family, and it took a little while to learn how to do that, don't get me wrong. But that whole getting to be creative thing, like to look at a recipe and work on that recipe, and then think about how I might be able to make it my own, and make it Sherry's special number 347. Because
Sherry, I have a
I love
question for you. Sherry, I have a
yes.
question for you. So
Yeah.
one thing that Cindy shared that I think is the bigger part, you said you love cooking. She hates cleaning.
Yes.
She doesn't clean the kitchen. So any insights on how you do that in a energetic, creative way?
Yes. First of all, I never reach my hands in dirty water because I just can't even, right? So I got a brush, I got a scrub brush. So now I scrub it off with a scrub brush. But more importantly, I turn music on. And I turn my favorite tunes on, because, and I believe you're a musical person too. Yes. So anytime you put on your own theme music to do something, it gives you superpowers. And it changes the way that you're feeling and the way that you're vibrating, really. And so go from a place of dread, of gross, to a place of dancing and spinning with the plates. And just that you know what, that's the key to it, is to find a way to turn it into something high energy. And I still use a brush instead of a ew.
I have leopard gloves. So
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Those help too. We weren't allowed to use those. We had to reach in there But
No, no.
what you were doing and reaching back with her is the most amazing thing I've ever heard. And please rub off on me some more.
Thank
You're
you.
coming to Boston, you're sitting in the seats.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you for sharing. Everybody give Cindy a round of applause. Cindy. Our sabotaging behaviors. There's two things that they satisfy, and at the bottom left-hand corner, the truth is they're creating certainty in our life, and certainty is the number one human need, and they keep things status quo. In order to change, we have to have new energies. In order to have new energies, we want to create new meaning, right? And so the other thing that roots below the line behaviors and patterns is that we've given it meaning that has deep roots for us. And so certainty and meaning. Our life is the quality of the stories we tell. The quality of our life is the sum of the decisions we've made and the stories we tell ourselves. I'll say that again. The quality of our life is the sum of the decisions we make, but more than that is the meaning that we give the stories we tell ourselves. And those meanings become this fabric of who we identify ourselves as. And so I invite us to be willing to change our identity. Would you love to change your identity?
Yes.
There's parts of our identity that we love, that we're in love
Yeah.
with, right? But there's parts of our identity like, I think I could do better, right? That's it. It's not like I have to change my identity. It's not like my identity's bad. It's like, I think I could do better than this, right? If you just start saying, I think I could do better. I got more in here. There's more to me. I'm still growing. It's not just hips and waistline. There's more to me. And let's go into a ball of curiosity. What's next? There's a next for me. There's more to me than this. Maybe I've just been playing small. Not like you're being made to play small. Sometimes we play small because it's certain. We know how to do it. Fair enough. But what if we go in with wonder and aliveness and possibility and holy F, I could do that. I just saw this reel yesterday, yes. And it was cool. It may end up being one that everybody's seen, and I just see it lost because of who I am. Like, I'll drive down the street and I go, oh wow, I didn't know that gas station was there. And Jackie will go, it's been there for like 10 years. Oh, really? Okay. And so I saw this reel yesterday of this guy. So it's a woman standing in front of him, and you can tell she's like strapped on. And they're about to jump off a cliff. They're gonna go cliff jumping. Cliff jumping. No, it's like it's got a wingsuit, got a wingsuity thing, parachutey thing. I don't know. Something.
Like,
But he's jumping.
Okay.
Cliff diving.
yes, thanks.
Base jumping. That's what it's called. Base jumping. So I've seen them individually doing that kind of stuff, and I'm like, y'all are nuts. But this was a woman with, she's here and he's here, and he is going, you got this. And I don't remember her name, but like, what are you feeling right now? I don't know. Well, because they've done something before and he knew a lot about her, right? And so he brings her to this edge and he's like, you're leaving that behind, and what are you jumping into? What's next for you? And like, I love my husband, I love and this. And so she's like saying what it is, and he's like, yes. And he goes, whenever you're gonna count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, whenever you want, you're gonna jump. And I was just getting chills, like, yeah, I want to do this, right? And so he does it, and they jump. It's like a minute. That's all it takes, like a minute. And he said, right before you jump, you're going to be filled with fear, but as soon as you jump, you're going to be filled with joy. And I'm like, I hope so. And so she jumps, and she's like, and she's yelling, she's holding the stick, she's holding the stick, and she's going down, and then he lands, and she's like, what? And so what I saw was taking a try to go do base jumping. I'm like, we all need to go do this right now. So my next level was having the courage to base jump, because there's not a part of me before I saw that yesterday that would have thought that was sanity, but now I want to go do it. So what is next for us? What is next for us? And if there's any place in your life where you feel stuck, where you feel sabotaged. Like, look at that list. If you circle it loud and proud. If these sabotaging behaviors are in your life right now and you own it, I mean, own it. Don't shy away from it. The one thing to know is that whenever we have sabotaging patterns and we shy away from it, or we want to make it look good, or we give ourselves excuses like, it doesn't happen all the time. It's just like once in a while. Or if we say, other people are worse off than me on this one. I'm like on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm maybe a 3. I'm pretty good. If you're rationalizing your sabotaging behaviors, it needs to be freaking circled. Don't let the saboteur rationalize its existence in your life. Don't let it rationalize you're better than other people. Bullshit. This is your life. If it's happening and you're going inside yourself and you go, yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Just tell the full out truth, like the lady jumping off the cliff. Nobody's judging anybody here because we all have it. Nobody's judging anybody. You had like 7 people, including me, raise my hand. Right? Could I do better? That's all we want to ask ourselves. Is there something in me that's wanting to do better? Not like outside the world, they're going, you could do better at this. I mean, come on, look at yourself. No, but inside of me, do I want to do better? Is there something calling inside of me that I know there's a next level? Even if you don't know what it is yet. Even if it's curiosity, I think there's a next level for me. I think I could do better. That's the kind of attitude we want to have with ourselves. And it's not like your spouse. I mean, some people go, yeah, I could do better. I'm not talking about that. That's not for, well, maybe, but if you do have a spouse and you're watching this and you're coming to abolish, you both need to come. You both need to come, not one or the other. You both need to come. Because growing apart is easy, but growing together is rock solid awesome. But that's what I want us to do is like, wow, we're going to have a next level for me. This is fun. And do it from wonder, not have to. Because have to, I hear that in there. I hear the have to. The saboteur scaring the bejesus out of you. As long as the saboteur is making the choice, because it'll sound like you have to, you should, you ought to, why haven't you done it yet? Something's wrong with you. That's the saboteur. The warrior is, we get to. This is going to be fun. Let's go make it on our terms. You could have come back and done the dishes later when everybody's out of the kitchen and say, I'm going to wash the freaking dishes my way. You guys get out of my face. Right? Do it on your terms. And then we just get to ask, what are my terms? What's my standard? But as long as we have that resistance when somebody's making us, we're going to be a spoiled brat. It's just how things go. It triggers that little spoiled brat inside of ourselves. So lean into the resistance and laugh. We'll be doing a lot of laughing at Abolish. Who said laughter earlier? Carolina. Laughter is medicine. It definitely is. So the last thing I wanted to leave you with on this, I think we've done this. You get to decide your own breakthrough mantra. So for me right now, I'm getting to a new level of money. And I didn't know I had to, I'll take, yes, give me money, right? However, I had a belief system in there that I didn't know was there until yesterday. And it was that, money's cool, but it's not the be all end all. And I was telling myself this story of, money's cool, but it's not like everything. It's cool. I have this corporate client that owes me $12,000 since January. And it's been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And yesterday they let me know that, or at least I had the belief that the account number that was put into the wire was not my account number, which means that over a week ago, they would have drafted or sent that $12,000 to someone else in the world. And I was Googling it and ChatGPTing it, and they're like, yeah, good luck getting that back. So I had a little hissy fit last night. I was like, this company is really like crazy and it's driving me a little nuts. So I went to my altar and I was like, God, what? Why is this so hard? Why is this whole thing so hard? I was having my little bratty moment. I have bratty moments. I was like, this is nuts. This is insane. And so okay, the dogs are like, Mom, you're getting all riled up. I'm like, lay down. So no, I'm supposed to just sit there and be still and listen. And I was upset. And God goes, this is a gift. This is a fucking gift. This is a struggle. And he goes, pay attention to the struggle. Because in the struggle is the needed change that there's a needed change. Of course, my saboteurs wanting to blame and be mad. And then I went, oh, there is. And what it was is that I'm to be more mindful and respectful of the flow of finances. But it's not just finances. You guys get this because you saw it was a breakthrough for you. And I was like, this came last night. You guys listening? So I was like, with the word that came in was currency. Okay. And so I'm like, okay, fine. I love currency. So instead of money's okay, I love currency. So I was diving into that. Love currency. And what came through was currency is a current. Current is energy. Energy is the flow. And so currency is current, which is energy, which is the flow. And if I had oh, it's okay, ho hum, I'll take it, it's not a big deal. He's like, you're telling me that the gifts I give you are not a big deal? Why would I give you more gifts? I was like, oh, good one. So sometimes when I'm playing chess with God and God does a checkmate, I go, good one, good play, good move. So for me, my breakthrough was I'm leaning into currency because the currency is currency of love, currency of the flow, currency of the connections, currency of relationships, currency of health, currency of spirituality. Currency is not only money, but currency is the energy. And I went, thank you for the wake up. Because I was being ho-hum about things, not wanting to have my identity like I'm some kind of money hungry person, right? I had this bad thought about that type of a person. But he said, lean into what you're resisting because there's a gift in it. Lean into what you're resisting. There's a gift in it. Said the kitchen. Yes, Angel.
I just want to kind of second that. I kind of share that. I guess the more going to like a personal development, spirituality, I still feel like the material world is, it's below me, right underneath me. But I've been neglecting it so much for these limiting beliefs about money.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Lean into it. Yeah. Because this physical world does have that in it. And if it wasn't of a necessity, it wouldn't be here. Right. So there's beauty and gifts in it and it's circulation. Whenever I got, and you heard it, I don't know if I explained it the same way I did earlier, that currency is a current. I was like, whoa, it's energy. Isn't that cool? Do you guys hear that? Is that cool? It's cool to me. Anyway, it's cool. So building our mantra, your breakthrough mantra will come from you, but it's simple. So for me, is currency is a current. That's my breakthrough mantra. Currency is a current. And currency in my old mind was currency is only money. And it's not. Currency is everything of us. Everything is a currency. Our thoughts are a currency, right? So what would be a breakthrough mantra for Cindy?
I don't know.
Shoulders back. Breath in your system. This is where we make decisions. If we're making good decisions, it's from an energy rich place. If you're in the I don't know, that's because the energy is not in the body. You're not enlivened by the currency of your answer, which is there. So what would be a breakthrough mantra? In fact, let's stand up. I want you to really feel this. This is your breakthrough mantra. We don't break through while we're sitting on our booty. Yes, Kara stood up with you.
Okay.
Breakthrough mantra, Cindy. What do you want to tell yourself in this moment? And it can change. It's not like you have to be married to it. What do you want to tell yourself now to have a shift from a resistance of not making your health a priority? And it's really about not being connected to your kitchen, right? In a loving way. That's what you shared with us as a root of it.
Mhm.
So what do you want to say? Start believing in yourself, a new mantra you want to put in play. Just in play.
Well, the first thing that came to my mind is you can do this.
I can do this.
I can do this.
I can do this. What is this?
Go into my kitchen and, enjoy it. Love it.
I love you, and your body language is not really energy rich.
That's
It's like,
if I'm feeling the I don't want to go in that room feeling.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be your kitchen for a second. Why don't you want to go with me? For heaven's sakes, you're paying rent. I'm here. I'm here. You're paying rent for me. Like, you store your food in me, and that's how you get energy in your body, right? What did I do to you?
This particular kitchen, you didn't do anything.
This particular kitchen didn't do anything to you. So if you're carrying, you have a relationship issue that was what? This kitchen way. We're like way over here. This kitchen way long ago.
Yeah.
Now this kitchen right now is getting abused because of what happened in that kitchen.
I can see that. Yeah. Wow, I can see that.
Yeah. Do you treat all kitchens this way?
Oh, just mine.
Just if it's yours. But if you go to somebody else's kitchen, it's okay.
Yeah, because I just sit back and watch them do all the stuff that needs to be done.
Oh Lord,
Enjoy
really?
the company.
You like to be waited on. But this kitchen back here was the abuser, and now all kitchens are the abuser.
Mhm.
That's a big thing. Okay, you may not have your mantra tonight, but I'm going to say that I can do this was not it.
Okay.
Have a seat. It needs to be something about your kitchen, man.
Okay.
Because if I'm your kitchen, I am breaking up with you tonight. If I could move out of your apartment, I'd be gone. I'd take all my pots and pans and utensils. I'm taking everything. I'm leaving you because you don't appreciate me.
I love my kitchen.
Really? Okay. Wait a second.
I
What?
want my kitchen to go.
You don't want your kitchen to go? You just said you love your kitchen.
Said I love my kitchen. I don't want it to go.
Maybe you go sit in it tonight and apologize. You need to have a one-on-one with your kitchen.
Right.
I'm not kidding. You guys get this?
Yeah, give her a name.
Give your kitchen, or maybe a him. We don't know.
All right.
It may be a him. And he's going, you don't respect me. You don't care that I'm here. You don't even take care of me. You like hide shit in the refrigerator. Like, I'm like, trust me already. Maybe there's some trust there for your kitchen. You get to, I would really invite you to sit in your kitchen and go, well, let's make a new relationship here.
Okay.
You get to choose it.
Okay.
Fun?
Yeah, fun.
Cool.
Thank you.
Here, you gotta clapping for Kara. I love you guys tonight. This was so fun. Was this fun? Good. Okay, so this is the time of my talks where I ask, and we got some thumbs up. And I want to hear from you guys too. What are some takeaways that made your time here absolutely worth it? Gail, take away.
Okay, I have a lot, but the one thing you said that like, wow, hit me was if I have a superpower of spiritual discernment, if it is from love, it is from me. And you went on, but I'm sticking with that part of it because yes, I needed that tonight. So thank you.
You are very welcome. Yes. What are some more takeaways? Made your time here absolutely worth it. Cindy, I know you're going to say some things.
Well,
Angel's like,
I want to say about reframing our stories. I think that was
reframing your story.
Right.
Mhm. Good. You get to. You get to. It's not like I have to. It's I get to choose this. What relationship do you really want to have with the story? Do you want to have a really, in Abolish, we're going to, there's something called the transformation triangle. You're going to get to see the stories that you tell yourself. And it creates the meaning in our life. It's amazing whenever we start to dissect it. And anytime we have any of this or below the line feelings or something, we can start to ask ourselves, what meaning am I giving this? Because you can choose a whole variety of meanings. Thank you for sharing. Yes, Danny.
For me, it was also the story. If I'm gonna tell me a story,
Mhm.
and I like the part of curiosity. Do it with curiosity and with wonder and with possibility. If I usually do it soap opera.
Soap opera, soap opera.
Now I can do it
Novella.
in wonder. See, I do it in that part of wonder and curiosity and possibility and so just different story.
Yeah,
Mhm.
isn't it fun?
And because I get to,
You get
I
to,
get to,
you get to.
because I have to.
Yeah. Have to, should, ought to, saboteur.
Yeah,
Get to, warrior, fun. Let's have some fun. You get to choose it. Yes. Any takeaways here from our wonderful Zoom room? Yes,
I
Kara.
just want to agree with both Gail and Angel. I totally agree. Those were my top two that I was going to write down. But I went all the way back to the very beginning and what you said about the fact that we have knowing and yet we ignore it and we kind of travel down separate paths. So it's about being more aware and using that spiritual discernment to keep that awareness alive and front and center.
Leaning into it first, I think, is really why we're here. It takes a lifetime. Us humans, we are daft. I swear to goodness. Yeah. So slow is the new fast. I know you've heard me say that. I'm learning to go slower and tap in and listen. Because I find that I don't beat myself up as much if I listen to what the gut or the instincts said and I go in that direction. And it's almost like getting that tap on the shoulder to take a right and go down this street and not go that other street. We don't know what we're avoiding. I think sometimes if we, I think there's a part of us, tell me, I'll get your impression on this one. I think there's a part of us that wants to not get off the freeway in a traffic jam because we want to see the accident. And so what if you're laughing, right? Right? So what if there's a part of us that doesn't want to listen to our instincts so we can see how bad is it really going to be? Huh? Curiosity, like, oh, maybe I can get myself through this one. But whenever we take the right turn, we'll go, well, what was I redirected from? I didn't get to experience. I just think it's interesting, right? These are things that keep me up at night. You guys are seeing into the dark recesses of my brain. Takeaway, Cindy.
I think what you said when you related the kitchen to a relationship, that is something I'm going to ponder on for sure, because yeah, like I didn't want the kitchen to go away because of, treating the new kitchen like the old kitchen. Yeah. If you think about that, like a relationship, no, I didn't want that kitchen to go away. I love that kitchen,
But not treating it
I'm
like
not
you love it.
treating it. Yeah. So there's something there to really ponder.
Beautiful. Yes. Any other takeaways from tonight? Shanna, I'd love to know what you think. I had you laughing in stitches and you had me laughing in stitches. What you think?
I've got 2 pages of notes plus the 2 printouts. So yay.
Anything you want to share that you wrote down?
And I get a new workbook when I show up there. Yay.
And more and more. You get new friends, actually. Go ahead.
I think that let's see. When you said perfection is the lowest standard, because that's something that's been new in my life for about the last year and a half, is like giving more or receiving more credit for like the progress instead of trying to have it all done and perfect, and then realizing that a lot of the requests I make of myself are unattainable, and so to get more focused and specific and be like, okay, what are the 2 things I did today instead of the list of 10 or something like that.
Yay, way to go. Celebrate your progress. We celebrate with you. Thank you for sharing that. Any other takeaways people want to share? Kenneth?
Can Sherry share? Oh,
Kenneth and then Sherry. Yes.
okay.
Speak up. They want to hear you on Zoom.
I've got 2, but I'm gonna go with the one that I think like is more unique to me.
Okay.
And it's extension of the perfection. And the moment you said 80 to 90%, I was like, that really resonated with me. Because like that's how I went gluten free.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I don't have to do it perfectly, but it was empowering because like it gave me a choice. I can always choose. And so it was actually very, it's like, wow, if I do that with the things that I get hung up on because I want it to be perfect. Cool.
Yeah. Good job. That's how we learn. That's how we shift. And Sherry, yes.
Okay, first of all, you're just ninja level 10, like amazing. But the how important it is to get to the root of the story. So if you get to the root of the story, then you can start to change the branches. Like that is amazing as a transformative tool, and I'm stealing it.
You're a certified bonfire coach. What are you talking about?
Okay, I am appropriating it appropriately.
Yeah, keep coming to the coaches training. You'll keep learning more. It's
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for tonight. I know that this group is going to be at Abolish. If you know of other people that you think might love this, I'll be posting this on YouTube. You can share it out. And it's my mission to bring as many souls as possible into the Abolish framework, because it teaches new ways of thinking, owning ourselves, having different stories with our life, and not being so attached to, so there's so many ways that we can be triggered, offended, below the line, stay stuck. It's always on offer. And I want to give these gifts of these tools and methodologies to you all so that you can shift like this and have amazing joy and frivolity and fun and passion and aliveness. And then you get to attract the cool people into your life, and that's even more fun, right? So you'll be able to share this with other people. We do have the Heroes and Warriors ticket for teachers, police officers, vets, military, firefighters, college students, and nonprofit staffers. And nurses. Yes. And so if you're interested in that, it's on Facebook. And the ticket sales stopped on the 18th. And tomorrow I'm drawing for $100 gift card. So do we have a picture of everybody that's here tonight?
Everybody smile. You guys are on, so that's
This is
great.
how we take attendance. And someone dropped off. Go ahead, smile, and then who
Carol.
was it that
Kara.
Kara. Mhm, Kara.
And Brian.
Oh, and Brian.
Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah, do you have a picture too?
I'm in the reflection.
Do we want to do it this way like we've done it before, Carolina?
Okay.
We do this thing and she takes a selfie and it's cool. You guys get behind. Assume the position. That sounds really bad.
Here we go.
Thank you, Carolina.
What else? You're welcome. Okay. Everybody in?
Yeah.
There's Kenneth. Okay. 3, 2, 1. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I will see you guys in how many days, Carolina? Love you guys. Thank you.
25.
Good night.
19?
You don't-
23?